10 days left of the 2024 presidential campaign, and a dangerous disinformation campaign is ramping up. With tens of millions of Americans already casting their votes, Trump and his allies are threatening to use every tool at their disposal to sow doubt in the election results if Trump loses, even to the point of upending our democracy itself. The chair of the conservative House Freedom Caucus, Congressman Andy Harris of the great state of Maryland, is now calling for the Republican-dominated North Carolina state legislature to hand its electors to Trump before the ballots are even counted, folks. Vice President Harris responded to those comments yesterday.
America deserves to have leaders who respect the importance of one of the pillars and foundations of our democracy, which is free and fair elections, and that they are not manipulated by elected leaders for the sake of their own political future or their own political strategy for how they themselves want to succeed. This has to be about what's in the best interest of the American people.
It's not about manipulation. It's about the best interest of the people. Joining us now in his personal capacity is the founder of Democracy Docket and partner of Elias Law Group, Mark Elias. Also with us, Isosa Osa, founder and CEO of Onyx Impact. Welcome to you both.
We have so much to get to, Isosa, but I want to make sure we start with this disinformation campaign. You've done a bunch of work looking at who these campaigns are actually targeting. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely, and thank you all for having me today. Let me ask y'all a question. Have you ever heard anybody tell white folks not to vote?
Well, I'll be right back. No.
This information is as old as white supremacy, and it has been used for generations to dissuade, deter, and deny Black folks from the ballot box. And we are seeing those exact efforts happening right now, whether it is in Michigan with candidates taking out ads in Black newspapers, giving them the wrong election date, whether it is on Black television right now. There's an ad of young Black folks talking about how much they've hated the last 4 years from fortheblackpeople.com that is being run by 3 white conservatives, right? We've got all types. I can go on and on and on with examples of efforts to fundamentally divide voters, to divide communities. And at the end of the day, it's about fear of our collective power and trying to find ways to make us feel like voting isn't worth it. And we all know that that is just fundamentally false.
Oh, well, I mean, Sosa, well, Mark, you came in hot and correct, because these are the facts. I mean, these are the cases that you are fighting all over the country. I'm surprised you're actually awake right now, because I know you just fight on all the fronts. Can you just give us the current state of play, Mark Elias, as it relates to the lawsuits that your firm specifically and the allies that you're working with have won, the things you're defending, and what you're most concerned about this almost a little over a week out from Election Day?
Yeah, so let me start with the last thing first, which is that, you and I have talked, and we've talked on this show before, that Republicans have a 3-part plan. The first is to make it harder to vote. The second is to challenge voters and harass election officials. And the third is in the post-election to try to disrupt certification. So we have seen a massive effort at litigation at the first and part of the second, which is Republicans filing lawsuits around the country to try to make voting more difficult, to try to make it less convenient, to try to make it harder to register, to try to throw out ballots or mail-in ballots that before they're even counted. We have also seen a tidal wave of litigation from Republicans aimed at the second, which is trying to challenge voters. Look at all the lawsuits they've filed over voter purges, trying to force states to purge voters, or in the case of some Republican states, trying to purge voters at the last minute. They're even attacking military and overseas voters and their families right now in court. The good news is they are losing all of those cases, or nearly all of those cases. So my law firm, we've been involved in preventing Republicans and their allies from challenging voters in Nevada. We've been successful in fighting to make sure that voters in Georgia can vote. We've been winning cases in Arizona. So the good news is that they are not succeeding, and it's not just us, by the way. It's other law firms, it's other organizations, and it's campaigns. It's everyone working together. But this is a concerted strategy on their part to try to undermine confidence in the election going into it, and then in the post-election to try to cause mischief, but they're not going to succeed.
So I want to look at a two-pronged reality here that, and it goes a little bit to what Simone elicited from Mark just now. You referenced the Black insurrectionists was actually, this sort of white organized group. The reach that the Black insurrectionist account attained with assistance from Trump and his allies demonstrates the ease with which unverified information from dubious sources can metastasize online to shape public opinion. The speed and scale of disinformation has been an animating force in the presidential campaign, with the potential to affect the outcome in a close election. In fact, the Black insurrectionist Twitter account has amassed 300,000 followers with conspiracy theories about the 2024 election. Your group, Onyx Impact, released analysis of disinformation campaigns targeting Black Americans in June of this year, noting, if we want to stem the current wave of disengaging rhetoric and inauthentic persuasion of Black voters, we must have plans to consistently engage Black gateway influencers between now and the election. Our focus groups showed again and again that mediums such as the Breakfast Club are still main engagement platforms for Black voters, regardless of how they are seen in political circles. Talk about that. That's just the striking disparity there, where you've got this group of white boys up here pushing out these negative narratives and sort of sucking in, the Black electorate, if you will, through those efforts. And then the efforts that you're talking about, where you're actually, engaging legitimate Black gateway influencers in an authentic conversation, and how difficult that is up against the Black insurrectionists.
Absolutely. That's a great question. I think it's important to understand why disinformation works, right? Disinformation works on all of us because a lot of our brains work in a very similar way, which is that the more times we hear something, the more likely we are to believe it's true, and the more likely we are to believe other people believe is true as well. Disinformation is a problem of repetition and amplification. And as the correlation online between content and credibility deteriorates, and credibility is determined by following, as we see with the Black insurrectionists, people are substituting following for credibility, which is incredibly problematic. So we need to be on the media platforms where young folks are actually engaging, and where they have on Black staples of news and culture currently today, which is not only Black news and Black legacy news and media, but is also places like the Breakfast Club, is also places like the All the Smoke podcast, the Shade Room. These are in our research, when you go onto these platforms, you are far more likely to break through to Black skeptic audiences, to young Black audiences, to the exact audiences we need to make a difference in this election. And you're far more likely to stem the flow of disinformation.
It's not, Mark, as you and Sosa both know, not just disinformation and misinformation they're contending with. You're also contending with conservative activists who simply want to flout the rule of law. I want you to take a listen to what Ivan Raiklin is calling on Trump to do. Take a listen.
Have you thought of, and why aren't you calling on the state legislatures in the entire country to just go ahead and convene on November 5th to allocate their own state's electors, at a minimum in North Carolina, New Hampshire, Nebraska, Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin, so that those states guarantee that no illegals are voting, no illegal drop boxes, no illegal signature non-verification going on, and it's fully free, fair, transparent.
A lot of boogeymen there at the end. Mark, talk us through what it is that he's suggesting.
I mean, look, what he's suggesting, just to be clear, is to disenfranchise every single voter in every one of those states. He is suggesting that the legislature in those states allocate their electors, which is another fancy way of saying that the people don't get to vote. Okay, that's it. Like when Andy Harris, the Republican member of the House who's sitting in that audience, and after that clip says, you know, this makes sense in North Carolina, what he is saying is that his constituents shouldn't have the right to vote. He is saying they should all be disenfranchised. And he wants them disenfranchised because he believes Republicans controlling those legislatures will simply give those electors to Donald Trump. And this is a disturbing pattern. Let's go back in time to 2020. What was the big lawsuit, the last big Hail Mary lawsuit that Donald Trump hitched his wagon to? It was a lawsuit by the state of Texas to throw out the votes in 4 states.
Yep.
Okay? They are trying to do this. It is not going to succeed. They're going to fail. Kamala Harris is going to win, and I promise everyone, lawyers and activists will be on the ground to make sure that every lawful vote is counted. And so please, everyone needs to turn out and vote.